With equal material, white has the advantage with the rook on the 7th. He'd like to keep it there, and black is threatening to play king to d8 and drive it away. His best move is d6 to anchor the rook. Okay, the pawn can be taken, so you may wonder, what about e5 to support d6? Well, after king d8, d6, bishop d7, yes, white can keep the rook on the 7th, and he has the advantage in the position, but his effect on the 7th rank is quite short. So instead, white plays d6 immediately. If e takes d6, then bishop b5 check. Okay, and the 7th rank is white's. King f8 to protect the f-pawn. Bishop c4 attacking, blocking, exchanging, taking h7, threatening rook to h8, skewering the rook. So king to g8. White attacks another pawn, another pair of pawns, takes a pawn, and now black must get the rook active at the cost of yet another pawn. So white should win this endgame. Going back, after d6, what if black doesn't take the pawn and plays bishop d7 instead? So there was a double attack on e7, so black blocks the rook with bishop d7. Well, then white can take the pawn, and if the king takes back, then there's bishop to b5 attacking the pinned bishop, which must be defended by the rook. But then white takes on b7 and continues to attack with a pawn lead. So white should be winning that as well. And here, if black doesn't take the pawn and instead tries a6 to stop bishop to b5, then white has bishop to c4, and if black takes the pawn now, white can take the pawn, and if black takes the bishop, then white gets the bishop with a commanding position, and if black comes up to attack the rook, it can fall back, and white is still a clear pawn up and winning.